Thanks for staying with us now. From the onstage chaos to the offstage competition.
It's just us.
That's just us. Yeah, life on the West End stage is far from the glamour we'd all imagine.
Here to take us backstage on life in London's iconic West End is performers Paul Wilkins and Sam O'Rourke. Good morning. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking about this fantastic show that you have going on in just a little while. But the West End, Paul, you performed on it for such a long time. Sure, everyone has kind of gone, if they've got a chance to have gone to the West End. How did you get into it? And is it as glamorous as we'd all think?
Well, I got into it following being at drama school, which actually is where Sam and I met. We both went to a drama school called Arts Ed in London. And then I was involved in Les Misérables on the West End. So I played Marius for about 2.5 years and toured around the world with it. Is it as glamorous? Not in the older buildings.
No,
And in the West End, they're all old theatres.
Old.
Yeah,
exactly. But it sure is it's a good laugh.
It's a good life. But Sam, then the same for you. You were in drama school.
That's right.
Like, I mean, when you leave drama school, then getting into the first gig's always the big one, isn't it? Was there a lot of auditions and no's? Because in this business, you have to be able to take no, I'm sorry. I mean, it's the thing, isn't it? Because there would be very few professions that you would be told no as many times as acting.
Sure. We used to get told at drama school that we weren't professional actors, we were professional auditioners.
Yeah,
just to sort of get you into that mindset, because you're completely right. You do have to just get used to it, and obviously combine the fact with you getting no's all the time and the fact that actors have fragile egos. It's definitely something that you have. I mean, I'm generalising there when I say actors have fragile egos. Mine's fragile. Would you say yours?
You looked at Paul very intensely there.
I'm entirely insecure. Yeah,
that's what you know. But one thing, but it is interesting because we now live in this world where generating buzz is a huge issue, and everything's being filmed.
Yeah.
And like even I've watched something like open auditions, people in the queue, people going in, come with me as I audition today.
Yeah.
What's that? Like you've done one open audition, I think. Have you done one, Sam?
Yeah, I did, but that was but before I knew you, that was I came down to London.
That's like when everyone just goes. It's a big, it's Britain's Got Talent sort of a thing.
There's thousands or hundreds of people outside the theatre.
What's it like?
Was crazy. I mean, that was crazy for me anyway, because I came down to do that audition when I was 17, so that was before drama school.
Right.
What was it for?
It was for a cruise ship.
They were doing open calls for a cruise ship.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, it was carnage. It was at Pineapple Dance Studios, and the corridors were just... I mean, as a 17-year-old, it was initially fun, and then very quickly it gets quite tedious because you're just sitting there all day and you realise...
Yeah.
And, I made some questionable choices that day. I ended up rapping to a Robin Thicke song, and I don't know, from the short amount of time that you've spent with me, I don't know if you'd worked out that I'm not a natural rapper. So
Robin Thicke, as if his glasses aren't enough. He raps.
He does rap. He did rap in that song.
But I don't even know what that is.
As professional actors now, do you think these open calls are just publicity stunts now for the sort of maybe the show coming up, and they're going to get lots of people going, look at the hundreds of people coming to audition for us?
I'd say there's definitely part of that, and I get it in a way it is clever. And I think as a producer, you have to think outside of the box to do certain things, but at the same time, there's got to be a balance not to waste people's time.
Because you've stepped into this role of producer. We're going to talk about that in a second, but there is one theatre director and producer. He's doing things very differently. He's got Rachel Zegler currently. She's singing Evita, Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, to Out on the Stage. She's singing it on the streets of London. She does sing it again inside, but he also did Sunset Boulevard. There's Rachel Zegler there. He did it in Sunset Boulevard, where he had parts of it outside to kind of entice audiences in. People are having mixed views of this. Paul, what do you make of these sort of a different way of doing musical theatre?
Do you know what? I think maybe if I'd going back a few years, where I was primarily just doing acting, I probably would have seen something like this and been like, oh, right, yeah, that's a really odd choice. Why are they doing that? And then suddenly I go, oh, but actually, it is bringing eyes to the piece. It's making people go, this is a really interesting choice. Okay, and It is drumming up quite a bit of press.
Well, it's drumming up press because it's everywhere online, and there's hundreds of people outside the London Palladium every night at 9 o'clock to watch this appearance for a couple of minutes.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
And also, Andrew Lloyd Webber owns the theatre, so he can kind of do what he
do
likes.
what he wants, innit?
Yeah.
But he was even saying he understands people may be annoyed that they do it, but I didn't realise she's saying it again inside.
Yeah, she does.
So I think that's what
she does.
Is he saying is it the people in the theatre?
They were getting annoyed because
not the people outside that don't want to hear it.
No, the people outside are fine because they haven't paid. It's if you're paying up to 100 and something a pound for a ticket now in the West End, that the big number was being done outside.
And you're watching it on TV.
And you're watching it on a monitor in the theatre. You know, that's the annoying bit. But I suppose, as you say, as producers, you have to move on. You have to keep reinventing because, obviously, for the two years, since COVID was decimated the arts.
Yeah, absolutely. Any momentum that we had just went...
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. So you just have to...
So anything that's getting people involved in the West End since.
Yeah.
We're talking to Anton de Beek a little bit later on. We always know that a winner of Strictly ends up on the West End stage. Sure. It's stunt casting. Yeah. What do you make of it, Sam? You've been plugging away at this for years. What do you make of those decisions?
I think you got to take it by case basis. There's no, like you were talking about with the open calls, there's no question that it's a good thing in that respect because it's obviously going to be bringing a lot of new eyes to the audience, and that can't be a bad thing. Sometimes you look at some casting and you go and watch a show and you're like, oh, come on, and
I'd say it must be really frustrating and annoying. Actually, you're like, it must be.
It can be,
yeah,
but also it's. A lot of the time, it's keeping a lot of us in work. Like we've been in shows with stunt casting, and people are coming to watch the show because they're there.
Because we spoke to Jojo Radabe from Strictly, who's doing Kinky Boots.
Yeah,
and he was saying he feared that he would get that label, so he went off and he took acting lessons, he took singing lessons, and for months and months, because he said, I didn't want to be the Strictly guy given the job.
And what a good attitude to have. And this is the other thing, because we do tend to talk about stunt casting, even with the name as if with a little bit of a negative connotation, but there's also plenty of quotation marks stunt casting with people that are very adequate and more than adequate at doing the job. And I guess that's the ideal, isn't it? You have this stunt casting or this celebrity casting or these people that bring the eyes to the shows that are phenomenal at what they do as well, and they do exist.
Well, you're bringing the eyes to the shows because, Paul, you moved over here. You fell in love with Therese, who's over there watching right now, moved yourself to Cork, and you are bringing a bit of West End to Dublin a little bit later on tonight. This is called Friends from the West End. Tell us about this.
So, Friends from the West End is an original musical revue, and a revue is where you have songs from the show, and in between that is script. And that script's been created with stories of our time in the West End and the relationship that Sam and I have, and also Natalie Green, who's involved. She was in Wicked and Prince of Egypt, so we've all got experience behind us. And it's actually, if I do say it, it's a lovely show. It's a really lovely show. We've just done 4 performances at the Cork Arts Theatre, and completely sold out last night. Really? Travelled up here, so yeah.
Really, you were on stage last night in Cork.
Yeah.
And you're up here this morning. Fair play to you.
Paul asked me yesterday whether I wanted to travel last night or this morning, and I said, when you say tomorrow morning, you mean 3 o'clock. Let's go tonight.
Let's go tonight and get it done. Yeah. What's it like, because you're bringing us these fabulous songs. You're in gorgeous theatres in Ireland. Nice, intimate, it's fab. But your mate, who you've known for years, you've worked together for years, he's your boss, he's your producer. How's that going, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know if he feels like he is my boss.
No.
I think...
No.
I mean, we were saying this morning, we've been travelling over here with Therese. We were working out whether I'm the boss or she's the boss.
And it's Therese. There we go.
Therese is definitely the boss.
So for people who
uses soft power,
like myself, who love the musicals, what kind of numbers are we looking at in the show? Obviously, Les Misérables.
Yeah. 100%. I've sung Empty Chairs at Empty Tables well over 1,200 times.
Wow.
And actually, I was doing a Q&A yesterday after our matinee with some students from a local school, Montfort's, and one of them asked me, what is your favourite song to sing? And part of me was like, avoid the cliche. And then I just turned to her, I was like, do you know what? I just love singing that song. Yeah. Every single time I sing it, there's something different I find in that song. And I think that's the beautiful thing in musical theatre, is that we get the opportunity to perform these songs over and over and over again, and and you can explore it in such different ways, and that's the beauty of it.
Well, that's definitely going to be there tonight, along with loads of other things with a story intertwined with these gorgeous songs. It's called Friends from the West End. It's on in Smock Alley Theatre in Dublin tonight. It's going to run until Saturday the 28th. Tickets are available at friendsfromthewestend.com. Paul Wilkins and Sam O'Rourke. Thank you both so much for being here this morning. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
Go on, give us a blast of... no, don't.